Hey, good morning everyone. I'm Vance Gray, Fire Chief for the Queen Creek Fire and Medical Department. We are here at Jeremiah's Italian Ice, and today is our ice cream social event. We are here in Queen Creek, obviously, and I'm going to be sitting with you for basically the next 10 minutes on Facebook Live, and then I'll be sticking around here at Jeremiah's Italian Ice until about noon to greet anybody who might come down and answer any questions that they might have about the Queen Creek Fire and Medical Department. Look at this. This is, as I've said, a little bit of paradise in front of me, so from time to time I might be taking a bite of that because I just can't resist it. We're going to cover a couple of things in the next 10 minutes. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our infrastructure, which translates to kind of our fire stations or our facilities that we have going on here in Queen Creek. And then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our staff and highlight a little bit of information about our personnel and the shifts and the schedules that they work, so that you as the public can know a little bit more about what goes on with our firefighters here in Queen Creek. So let's jump right in. So when we talk about infrastructure or our fire stations, let me just kind of set the stage for you and say that the town conducts and completes fire master plans. And in 2015, we updated our fire master plan for Queen Creek. And what this does for us is it guides us and then also allows us to make recommendations to our town council about our facilities, our fire stations. How many we might need, where they might need to be. Those types of components are included in the fire master plan. So we're very excited with the 2015 master plan. We have a couple of projects going on right now, and that is the construction of our Fire Station 2 and our Fire Station 5. These are currently in temporary facilities, which means that they are operating out of modular buildings today, but we are transitioning those facilities to permanent brick and mortar fire stations for the community. And this is very exciting for us because with the completion of these two fire stations to brick and mortar, will essentially complete the 2015 master plan build-out plan, which called for 5 fire stations in Queen Creek. So again, super excited about the completion of these fire stations. Fire Station 2 is located on Sossaman Road between Chandler Heights and Riggs. And Fire Station 5 is on Combs Road, about a quarter mile west of Ironwood. Currently, Fire Station 2 is about 40% complete, and Fire Station 5 is a little bit behind it at about 30% complete. Now, for the community, let me tell you a benefit that we feel is worthy of passing along to you all. And what permanent fire stations and facilities do for the community is basically it speeds up the service that we're able to provide. And here's how that's done. If you think about a permanent facility, it goes through a pretty extensive design phase. And permanent fire stations are designed very well with one thing in mind: getting firefighters and fire trucks out of the building as quickly as possible so that they can go take care of emergencies. Today, the modular buildings, the temporary fire stations, don't go through that type of design scrutiny, if you will. They're temporary buildings. So the benefit for the community is we have a facility and a fire station that we can say gets firefighters out of the station as quickly as possible, which equates to better and lower response times for all of you. In addition, benefits for the firefighters, newer state-of-the-art facilities, takes into account some very well sought after firefighter safety, and a couple examples of those are, we're in the midst of a pandemic, and we've designed Fire Station 2 and Fire Station 5 with some upgraded and enhanced heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems that have ultraviolet systems in it to kill bacteria and viruses. So that's a significant upgrade for us, and one that we felt was well deserved for our firefighters to try and keep them healthy. There's a whole list of benefits for the firefighters. We have basically very little carpeting in our fire stations, because carpeting will hold on to bacteria and viruses and things that we don't want the firefighters around. So that's another benefit for our firefighters with these newer facilities. So to kind of put a period on that sentence, for the 2015 master plan, the completion of Fire Station 2 and 5 will round us out for that 2015 plan. That said, we are preparing for the future, and we've already completed a master plan in 2020 to update the 2015 plan. What that's going to include is, we know that Queen Creek is growing, and growing pretty rapidly. So we are preparing for the future and making sure that we start positioning the town for future fire stations, specifically up in the northeast part of town. We have a significant piece of land up there that we're expecting growth to come into very soon. So with that growth, we have to be prepared for fire stations up in those areas, and that's just one example. So we do have a 2020 updated fire master plan in existence, and we're starting to plan for future fire stations and make those recommendations to town council when it's appropriate. One other very exciting facility that we want to just mention is not under construction at this time, but we are getting ready to construct a facility up in the northeast part of town at the field operations facility. And this will be a building that has basically 3 critically important features to it for the fire and medical department. This will be a fleet maintenance area for our fire apparatus to be serviced. It'll have some warehousing so that we can order in bulk and pay a lesser price for these supplies that the fire and medical department uses each and every day. And then the last part is a skills and education component, which will include classroom space and outdoor space for our firefighters to get the vital training they need to make sure they stay current and be able to deliver the services that we want. So that's really a third facility that we have going right now, in addition to the 2 fire stations. So that kind of brings us to the end of the infrastructure piece of this. Let me just talk briefly about our firefighters and our fire stations. In Queen Creek, as I mentioned, we have 5 fire stations servicing today, and we operate on a shift schedule for our firefighters, and we have 3 shifts. I'm going to kind of start you with a high level and bring you down to a low level for what we're talking about here with our schedule. So we have the 3 shifts that our firefighters work at. At each one of our fire stations, we have 1 fire truck. And that fire truck is staffed by 4 personnel each and every day. So you might ask yourself, well, why do you staff with 4 people? And here's the answer. There's a best practice standard in the industry that basically says, for a fire company to operate efficiently and provide the highest level of service, 4 people should be on that fire truck. And that's whether it's fighting a fire or providing emergency medical services, it's the same number. We also have 2 paramedics on each fire truck. That's part of the 4-person company. And there's a reason for 2 paramedics. They work in pairs, and it's very beneficial on medical calls for paramedics to work in tandem and have a team member that they can provide services at the same time, these advanced services at the same time, and also talk back and forth to decide a proper treatment protocol. So when you see the fire trucks rolling down the street, that's why there's 4 firefighters on the trucks, and each one of our fire stations has 1 fire truck in it, and a 3-shift system, A, B, and C. I know that can be just a little bit confusing. If there's questions on that, we can certainly address those. But we are a 24/7 operation, and that's why we have to have the 3-shift system. Is our doors never close, and that's why we have to have the number of personnel we do and the number of shifts that are in existence. We're very proud of our firefighters here. We have about 73 operational personnel that support operations directly, and what I mean by that is the firefighters that you see in the fire trucks or in the fire stations, that's the number of personnel that are directly serving in that capacity for the citizens each and every day. So then we have some administrative support staff, which is about 9 of them, and the support staff do just that. They take care of making sure that operations is running efficiently and fluently with everything that they need to be able to provide the services out there. The fire stations are strategically placed throughout the community so that we can ensure that everybody in the town of Queen Creek gets a consistent level of service across the board. So that's why we take time to position fire stations throughout the community so that they have the quickest response times possible for anybody who might need our services. So with that kind of rounds out highlighting the staff. We've covered the facilities and the staff. So I'm going to take a pause right now and see if there's any questions, and we'll get back with you here shortly. Again, come out and see us. My drink is melting a little bit, so I think I'm going to take a little bit of and relieve that pressure there.
So far we don't have any questions coming through. Just comments about the great information you're providing. Chief, do you want to tell us a little bit about the types of training that our firefighters do?
Absolutely. So with our firefighters, we have to stay current with everything that's going on in the industry today. So each and every day, our firefighters will make sure that they get at least 2 hours of training and that could be in fire training or medical training, because we do so much of both. So the captains of each fire station will take the opportunity to decide on any given day what they would like to go out and train on, and that could take place inside the station, it could take place outside the station, and that reinforces the need for a facility that I mentioned earlier about having a skills and education facility for our firefighters to go to and perform the skills. And here's the example I can give you. Today, a fire captain can go out into the apparatus bay, which is essentially where we park the fire trucks at the station. And they could pull a piece of equipment off of the fire truck and talk about it for an hour, 2 hours, and even get some hands-on training. And let me give the example of vehicle extrication, or jaws of life as it's known as. That captain can go out and talk about vehicle extrication with the crews, but until you get hands-on practical training, that's where the bread and butter is, and that's what a skills center or a location that we can do this training does for us. And having props, which would be vehicles set up out there so the crews can actually take the equipment off the fire truck and go perform these skills, is vitally important. So whether we're going to our own skills center and doing vehicle extrication, or going into the classroom and getting some medical education, or we're partnering up with one of our neighboring agencies to do what's called multi-company training so that we can operate efficiently together. There's just a whole laundry list of ways that we can acquire the training. Computer-based training is also a big part of our training regimen, which the firefighters can do from inside the fire stations. And that's just getting that educational component as well without having the hands-on. So that's kind of a little snapshot for our training piece that we have to do each and every day, because in order to stay current and relevant in the job that we do, it takes repetition of those skills and making sure that it becomes second nature when emergencies happen and we can just act.
see if we did get a question from somebody watching while you take a bite. They're curious what flavor of ice cream you're enjoying here at Jeremiah's today.
Well, I love dreamsicles, and I've always loved dreamsicles. So this is the combination of the orange, and this is, which one is this, Marnie?
This is the gelati with orange smash.
There we go.
And soft serve vanilla.
Gelati with orange smash. So this is what I'm enjoying here today. It is yummy. We got Jacob and Mark who are taking care of us today, so doing a great job and loving the ice cream.
And you're going to be here until noon today. Do you want to let folks know what they can expect if they come on down?
Sure. I'll be here until noon. Noon, like Marnie says. If you come on down, come up and say hi. I'll answer any questions you may have about the fire and medical department that we haven't addressed today, or if something needs clarification, be happy to do that. Have some ice cream. We're going to have a fire crew stopping by around 11:30, so they'll have the fire truck here as well. So we'll have a little excitement going on at that time.
We're good.
All right.
You can say goodbye to everybody.
All right. Hey, thanks for joining us. It was a pleasure being here today. We love serving the town of Queen Creek, and if there's ever anything we can do or a question that needs answered, please don't hesitate to reach out and get a hold of us. And y'all have a good day and be safe.